We're here at Ford Field, 2018 MAC Media Day, getting ready for the upcoming football season. BGSU head coach Mike Jinks is with us. And Coach, I know this always tends to get the juices flowing for you and your guys. This is sort of the mental note that it's time to go, right?
No doubt. It is really good to see you. You look great, buddy.
Thanks,
you look
Coach.
great.
It's
No doubt. It's been a long off-season time, and I know that I speak for our student athletes when I tell you we are chomping at the bits to get back out there.
Well, in that vein, one thing that's different coming into this year is you're really settled on your quarterback spot. Jared Dagey's going to be the guy. How much different has that been for him as far as you can tell in his preparation?
Oh, you could tell in spring, whereas last year you had a kid, 17, 18-year-old kid coming in from Lubbock Cooper High School and not really knowing what to expect. He was just confident and really he's got this internal leadership strength. And what I was excited to see out of him throughout the spring and even some in summer camp is he's more vocal, and that's something that we've needed. It's hard to ask a sophomore to go out and be that guy, but that's his role.
What about physically? He got a little dinged up last year, and I know, as you said, coming straight out of high school, that can be a problem. Is he significantly stronger? We see a little different look?
Yeah, he's significantly stronger. I think Jared played most of last year. I want to say about 175 to where I think looking at the numbers the other day, it was 203, 205. I don't know. Let's just make sure that's not too much poly eyes. long as it's good weight, that's a positive thing.
Andrew Clare also returns as your now feature running back, and we saw some real glimpses of spectacular play from him last year. A little bit different mindset for him now, too, yeah. Right? He's the feature back.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy. And it's the same thing we talked about when you talked about just how fragile Jared was last year. It was the same thing with Andrew. He was 17 at the time, and we just really worried about how many carries can this guy really handle. Because by the middle of the year, he kind of had, separated himself from the rest of our running backs, but we still wanted to manage his carries, let him, so to say, get some of that grown man strength and grown man weight about him a little bit. We think he's done that, and I think he can handle 20, 25 carries a game. If you give that kid that many touches in a ball game, he's going to have a pretty special year.
Scotty Miller was part of our contingent today here. You're counting on him to have a big senior season. What's maybe improved with Scotty Miller's game?
Well, Sky's, he's improved his route running, which was, kind of always been one of his strengths. The thing that I noticed throughout the spring, he's added a little bit of nastiness to him. You know what I mean? Which we challenged him to do. If you look at his skill set, I look at the Amendolas, I look at the Walkers of the world that we had at Texas Tech. He has a similar skill set. He may be faster than all those guys, but all those guys had a little nastiness about him, and we he's a guy's good looking kid, and don't want to be mean to anybody, but he gains that, and that physicality piece. He can get in the camp and make some things happen for himself.
Speaking of physicality, let's go up front. You lost a couple of key cogs there, longtime contributors, but also a lot of guys coming back that have seen some playing time. How do you feel about the O-line?
Yeah, we lost a couple of guys. You're probably talking about Timmy and Ryan a little bit, but O-line's going to be one of our strengths. For the first time since I've been here, I can sit here and tell you that I'm not just shaking in my boots in case we lose one of these guys. I feel like we're about 10 deep that we can go and win on any given night, and that's a definite plus. Again, you talk about guys like Caleb Wright, Lorenzo Taborn, Kramer even. Kramer played last year maybe 300 pounds. He's 315. They look like completely different individuals. So excited about it, and I think it'll be one of our strengths.
Let's flip to the other side of the ball. Carl Pelini comes in to run your defense. As far as the strategy and coaching it, the terminology and all that, has it been much upheaval for the guys, or has it been a pretty smooth transition?
It's been a little bit of a transition. There are definitely some differences in approach. The one thing I can say about Carl and his staff is the word I would use, credibility. When they stand in front of you and tell you who they are and what we're going to do, you listen, because he's considered one of the best defensive minds in the country, and I've seen why firsthand. He's an unbelievable teacher, and it was real. I just found it so intriguing in speaking with him throughout the interview process. He was a defensive coordinator on those Nebraska football teams, and watching them talk about how they, introduced the 4-3, and then as the Big 12 kind of evolved and changed to all the spread stuff and went to a 4-2-5, and then how they're nickel and dime stuff. So 15, 18 years of running the same defense, It's very impressive, very impressive. And then Jimmy Williams, he's been everybody's lucky charm. I think he helped Frank and them get going at Ohio, and then he was at Buffalo when they won it, and then was at Western Michigan. When we went on their run over the last couple of years, and just listening and talking to him, listen to those guys tell you that they see a lot of the similar deals and how close we are. Just a couple tweaks, a couple changes here and there. It makes you feel pretty good about the future of our university.
Well, Coach, we look forward to the season. The first game at Oregon, a very daunting non-conference schedule, and really early conference schedule. You're going to dive right in with Miami and Toledo. So not much room for error, so to speak, early in the season. You need to be up to speed quickly.
Not at all. You'll know what we're about early and often.
Well, we look forward to it, Coach. Good to have you with us here in Detroit as we kick off the MAC football season for 2018.